Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Dheeraj, and the first video I wanted to put out as to what is so tropical and what is happening in this world right now. And I was affected by COVID-19, the deadly virus that's making around all over the world, taken millions of lives. It is not a pleasant experience, so I wanted people to be aware of how to handle it, whether it's more of a physical pressure or a mental pressure. So in this video, I'm going to talk about my whole COVID experience, right from the starting of the day I had symptoms till I got out of my house and went for cycling. So let's talk about it. So let's move to day one. So day one, I had a very bad headache all of a sudden. So I'm a kind of person who doesn't drink, who doesn't smoke. I'm into workouts. So what happened was I got a very bad headache, which is like a migraine. So it's like somebody is taking a bat and hitting your head here, and you're not able to get up. So I went to sleep. I slept for about 12 hours. I remember it was a Sunday. And post 12 hours, I woke up in the morning. I went to my office. I was sitting there. The same kind of pain continued. And post that, I started feeling weak. So I knew something was wrong with my body. I got up from my chair, I drove back home, and I went to sleep. So this happened on day one. And day two, I woke up again with some body pain. I wanted to drink water early in the morning. I didn't have any strength to even get up and fetch, the jug of water. So this pain is more like you run for 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers, you feel that exhaustion is the same kind of exhaustion that you feel in your body. And on day 3 is when my temperature in the body started rising. So that's when I knew something was wrong. I rang up to my friend who's a doctor. She told me, please go for the test immediately. I went for the test and I tested positive. So there are two kinds of tests. One is RT-PCR and one is the rapid antigen test. I went for the rapid antigen test first. I tested positive. But if you have any symptoms and you test negative in the rapid antigen test, then you go for the RT-PCR test. This takes about 2-3 days to give you the results. So I came back home after getting the test done. I was positive. The first thing is not to panic, because all your pressure after you know that you're positive falls here. So you got to be brave. I came back home. The doctor gave me a few medicines to take. So the first thing that you have to do is isolate yourself. Please don't go and speak to somebody. Don't be careless getting out of your house after you test positive. You might be asymptomatic. You might not, feel any pressure of the virus, but you're still carrying the virus outside your house. And I was carrying all the symptoms. I didn't have energy, so I isolated myself at home. And I bought all the tablets. Of course, I had my friends who helped me out to get the tablets. They left it, outside my door. And the first thing that you'll have to do is, drink some hot water and relax after you come back home from the test. This is to calm yourself down. There is no need to panic. And secondly, if you experience any kind of uncomfortability, say breathlessness, and if you feel any congestion in your chest, then go to a hospital. Else, if you don't feel any pressure on your chest, you don't have issues in breathing, then you don't need to go to a hospital. Isolate yourself at home. So what are the things that you need to have after you know that you have tested positive? First thing, the very first thing that you need to have is a digital thermometer and a pulse oximeter. These are the two main things you need to have to monitor your temperature and your oxygen and your pulse levels in your body. If your oxygen level is more than 95, then you're fine. If your oxygen level starts dropping below 95, then you need to visit a hospital. Secondly, you need to buy vitamin C tablets, Zincovit, and vitamin D3. Now again, vitamin D3 comes in a measurement of IU. So you need to have at least 10,000 IU behind the tablet. It should be mentioned there that it should be 10,000 IU. This is the tablet which will help you. And thirdly, buy a Dolo or a paracetamol, just to make sure that when you fall ill, when you have fever, when you have cold, that's the only time you take a course of Dolo, which is 3 tablets in a day for 3 days. So that's what I took. And since my immunity was a bit strong, it fought the virus and I was fine, say in 7 days. So 1 week I was fine. but you need another week to isolate yourself so that the virus dies in your body and you don't take the virus with you outside. That's the only reason why you have been advised 14-day quarantine. But the virus actually dies in your body within 10 days. So what happens to a human body when the virus gets in, the COVID virus? So what happened to me, I'm going to share my experience. So the first 2 days after I started my treatment, I had uncomfortability in my chest area. So it's like when you do stop your breathing and you do some 10 squats, or when you just walk for some time without breathing, then you want to, you get that breathing issue. That's how I felt for the first 2 days when I only slept on the bed. Now the COVID virus reacts differently to different bodies. So this is a very important thing that you must know. Just because your friend experienced a certain kind of symptoms, it is not the same way that COVID will react in your own body. It reacts differently to different body. And usually people lose that sense of taste and smell during the first 2 days, but that is the last thing that I lost. So my day 4 and day 5, that's when I lost my sense of taste and sense of smell. So you absolutely cannot smell or taste anything. So you don't need to panic. You just stay calm, just eat. Everything will taste the same. It will taste like a rice in water. That's how it tastes in your mouth. So any kind of food that you eat will taste bland, and you can't smell anything. I would suggest you just keep putting your perfume every day in your hand and keep sniffing it so that you know when you're getting back your sense of smell. Secondly, you will start losing some amount of weight. That is bound to happen. For my body type, I lost about 5 kilos from the day I got affected with COVID till the last day. So that is something that you don't need to worry at all. Just that you will be tired, so don't try to do any kind of exercise. Don't try to, your mind should be empty. Don't try to work during COVID. You will start feeling tired. Just rest. All you have to do is eat, sleep, and that's it. Don't do anything and take your tablets well. And another important thing that you'll have to do is take steam. Steam inhalation is very, very important during this COVID time. I used to wake up in the morning, then finish my steaming, again once in the afternoon and once in the night before I go to bed. So this really helped a lot. And also I would suggest people to have dry ginger powder with hot water on an empty stomach, just to cleanse off those toxins in your lungs. This worked out for me really well. After I got this uncomfortable feeling in my chest, I started having hot water with 1 tablespoon of dry ginger powder that you get in any supermarket. So that really helped for me. After 2-3 days, my lungs were feeling fresh and I was fine. And the main thing that you can do at home if you want to go natural is to boil pieces of lemon, ginger and turmeric and some amount of tulsi. Say 3-4 leaves of tulsi, you can boil it well in water, filter it and then have that water in hot water for about twice or thrice a day. It won't do any harm and that will only help you boost your immunity. And what is very important during this phase is the post-COVID phase, because this virus has only RNA, it doesn't have a DNA. So it adapts to the DNA of your human body. So usually a virus will have an RNA and DNA. So people can find a formula to treat the other viruses. But COVID-19 has only RNA. So it gets into your body and starts to adapt to your DNA. That is exactly why it reacts differently to different human bodies. So what you have to do is to go get a blood test done, a liver test done. I got myself a CT scan and a ECG and echo test. So these 5 things is better to get checked because you don't know how this virus affects you in a longer run. And this virus also, let me tell you, rubs with your heart. So for some people it might not, but for some it might. So you can't really predict anything what it does with your lungs, heart and liver. So it's always better to go get yourself checked and tested again after 14 days. And also when it comes to the exercise, getting back into your regime, don't hurry up. First start walking for a few minutes, come back to your place and check your pulse and oxygen levels. If it's still 95, 96, you're good to go. You can slowly increase day by day. and then you can probably start with your workouts after 3 weeks, I would suggest. And it takes at least 6 weeks to get back to your original self from the time you have been affected by COVID. So I have one final message to all of you out there. Please don't take this virus very lightly. You might feel that, oh, there are people around me who are asymptomatic, nothing has happened to them, but this does have an effect in a longer run. So I would suggest you always keep your oximeter, your steam, and your digital thermometer handy. Always have your vitamin C, at least 500 mg tablets that you get, you'll have to have 3 in a day. Zinc-Covid, I would suggest at least 2 in a day, and vitamin D3 twice a day. So keep having this. Let the virus, go out of this world, and let people find out a vaccine. So don't take it lightly. My only thing is that I took it lightly. I was all over the place during lockdown. I was all over the place in office. I never used to wear mask as much as I do now. So this did affect me, and it's a very bad experience. Please, I just hope that with this video, people will try to relate. People who know me will try to relate how it feels, and please stay safe and stay home.